so much information, tea to talk about when it comes to Gypsy Rose and what's going on with her and Ryan Anderson, but also what's going on with my interactions with these people, some things that have happened with Christy Blanchard. I just have a lot to say, and it's time to put it all out there. Okay, so TMZ just released an article in which they were talking about basically the slander has begun, my friends. Like serious slander and defamation towards Ryan Anderson. The character assassination has just lifted off the ground and flown right up into the sky like a rocket ship, bursting and exploding before it gets to the moon. They are ready to go after this guy, and it's crazy. Hi, Mama Cat. Hi, Auntie Corn. Good to see both of you. I'm glad that you're here. I want to talk about the TMZ article that was just released about Ryan. The TMZ article says that they have a source that's close to Gypsy Rose, and I totally believe this because Gypsy and all of her friends, especially her mom and some of her family and her management team and all of these people who are behind her are all about controlling the narrative about Gypsy Rose, okay? This is a really big thing. Let me turn this down. They're all about controlling the narrative about her. They saw how quickly the tides turned for Gypsy just like a couple of months ago when people started really coming out and speaking shit about her. And they want to make sure that they keep things as evenly keeled as possible. They want drama to be out there. They want people to be interested in her show. Lifetime is backing it. A&E is backing it. And her managerial staff is all over, like, putting out all this drama, right? So I absolutely believe that someone went to TMZ and gave them this information. And it's all about making Ryan Anderson look like an effed up piece of trash. Let's be honest. And I'm here to talk about it. Hi, Zuna. Mama Cat says no one is steering her in the right direction. Completely agreed in every way, shape, or form. I actually have more to talk about when it comes to Christy Blanchard than I do Gypsy Rose. I actually am the kind of person who understands that Gypsy Rose went through a lot of abuse, and I don't have very high expectations, right? Like, I see her as someone who needs a lot of support, needs a lot of help, isn't getting it. But when I look at the people around her, that's when I get really surprised and disgusted by their choices and their actions. Like, what kind of situation did they grow up in that they are struggling to make the right choices? And I specifically think this when I think about her dad and her stepmom. Now, Gypsy's an adult, so we can't blame everything on them. They can't control her. But getting back to Ryan. All right, we all know that someone who contacts an inmate in prison is likely not going to make the best life partner, right? There's got to be something going on. There's probably going to be mental health issues. Roberta asks, Katie Joy synchronized for Gypsy Blanchard. I don't know what that means. Amanda, someone went to TMZ. What is this chat about? Yes. So, someone in Gypsy Rose's circle went to TMZ, and the new line that they're running with is that Ryan and Gypsy had a major blow up. They had a huge fight, and that's what led to the separation and eventual divorce, and it had to do with quote unquote food hoarding. That Ryan is a food hoarder. Gypsy was not expecting this, and once she found out what was going on, she was completely disgusted by it and couldn't live with this, and they got into a big fight about it, and that's why she had to leave him. And I'm here to talk about how, number one, I think this is coming directly from Gypsy's team. I believe that they're going to swing the narrative in a certain way that makes Gypsy look as positive as possible. And that number two, of course, there are some problems with Ryan Anderson. What were you expecting, Gypsy and everyone who's been watching this unfold? I think most of us were expecting that Ryan Anderson was going to have some kind of mental health issues, whatever else might be going on in the background. I'm not saying that the food hoarding is for real a thing. I just imagine that there's some level of that going on, and Gypsy is exploding it to make it a huge deal, to embarrass and just put out negative information about Ryan, to once again get more people to come over to her side and support her, because her show is coming out. Amanda says, it's interesting that her reasons keep changing. It's very suspicious. It's highly sus, right? But that's kind of the point of what these people are doing. I've been watching it for months now, you guys. Gypsy has a group of people around her who are just putting out story after story. It may be a friend, it may be a family member, but they just go to the media, and not just places like TMZ. They come to YouTubers, myself included. They put out information. They try to control what you say. They're of the mindset that they want things to look a certain way. And it's not always the most positive result for Gypsy. That's something I've noticed. What I'm seeing is some of these people, they want the positive result for themselves. I'm going to get real with you. Directly after Gypsy Rose was released from prison, I started to get some comments from Christy Blanchard on my Gypsy Rose videos. Okay? Now, these comments were benign. They were often like correcting things she didn't like that I was saying. And one of the comments specifically was telling me that she does like Katie Joy. Something like, I like Katie Joy. She's a good creator. Something like that. I guess one of my videos was questioning like their relationship. So I knew that she had a relationship with Katie Joy. She had confirmed that with me, and she was leaving these comments. She was also, I'm not kidding you, going to other creators that I had interacted with, and she was telling them to tell me things. Like, I would have a creator message me and be like, Christy Blanchard wants you to know blah, blah, blah. And I know that, I know it's not made up. I know Christy was messaging these people. And I was just like, no, thank you. I don't need Christy Blanchard or anyone like that trying to control what I put out about this story. And that's when I realized that a lot of people on these platforms are being controlled, specifically by Christy. It's very interesting. I have so much to say about that. I've been working on a video about it. I'm going to put it out. Christy built a social media empire about Gypsy. When people are questioning, like, why so many people following Gypsy? Like, why are people making her into a queen? You need to know about what Christy Blanchard has been doing behind the scenes that has created this empire for Gypsy, but it really was for the Blanchard family before she ever got out of prison. There was just a lot going on. Hi, Nikki! I'm so glad to see you, Nikki. I want to go live with you later. I have something I want to tell you about. I'll talk about it in a minute. Gigi says that whole camp is so messy. 100%. You guys don't even know the half of it. I have been going down the rabbit hole, and I have just been, like, so shocked by everything that is going on with specifically Christy Blanchard. She stands in the middle of all of it. She's at the eye of the hurricane. And it will not surprise me when she goes on Without a Crystal Ball's channel and gives her, like, some kind of big interview. I think they're kind of working up to that. But Christy is one toxic MFer. I might have to, in my opinion. She got swept up into this media storm that she never could have expected when everything just went viral about Gypsy. And she's taken advantage of it by building this really crazy, weird, toxic social media empire. It's all over TikTok, it's all over Instagram, it's all over YouTube, and it's insane. And yes, Without a Crystal Ball is a part of all of that. I'm waiting for that to explode or implode. If you're not aware, Katie Joy Paulson from Without a Crystal Ball like recently put something on her Instagram where she made Christy write like a message saying, and I like her very much. Well, guess what, Katie Joy Paulson? Christy's friends, it's like you and 25 other YouTubers that Christy like has in this big group that she's maintaining. And when you overstep any kind of boundary with her, you get kicked out of the group. I've been watching it from the outside, and it's been shocking. I had no idea people do this. I had no idea that things were like this. Oh, okay, listen, Triple J says she's drinking KJ's Kool-Aid. If you're talking about Christy Blanchard, let me tell you, Triple J, they are drinking each other's Kool-Aid. Christy Blanchard is no idiot. Christy Blanchard, you don't even know, has so many other people on the line, people like Katie Joy, other creators that she is interacting with, that she is dealing with. Two peas in a pod. That's unfortunately, there's a lot going on there. Once again, I have to say, there's so much I have to say about Christy. I really need to put it in a video where I, really take the time to organize it and show all of you all of the receipts, because it's not just negative about Christy, it's just quite interesting. She has built an empire for her, stepdaughter, but it's highly benefited her own daughter, Mia, and it's highly benefiting her as well. And it's just crazy and shocking. Okay, AK Homegrown Roots. Look what Christy just did to Fancy's former coworker, Ryan. Oh, I could say so much about that. And that's why I'm making a separate video involving all of that, because I have got so many details from the background. I've got a lot of people to talk about. A woman named Natasha Cooper. I've got someone named Flawless Nina. There's just so many people in the mix. I think the video is going to be called The Toxic Web of Christy Blanchard, and it's just a web of all these people on the screen. I think Nikki's seen it. I actually made like a diagram of all these people's interaction with each other. The red line is when they're fighting with each other. The green line is when they're getting along. It's its own reality show. Yes, it's its own reality show, and people have built these like small social media empires off of this story, off of Christy Blanchard. It's insane and it's crazy. AK Homegrown Roots says, this social media empire with Christy has been going on for a long time. I am so grateful. Yes, it has been going on for about 5 years. And I just started leaving some comments on them, and I could feel it from the moment I read these comments, that she was trying to get me to be like, oh my gosh, Christy Blanchard, can I talk to you? Like, do you have any information for me? And that she wanted me to be a part, like she would just want anyone to come be a part of her whole empire, which she is creating. And when I didn't respond like that, and I wasn't interested in talking to her, she just many random, like, creators. I think that she often targets vulnerable people who maybe are lonely, they need a friend, they want to grow their channel. I have so much to say about all of that, but once again, it'll have to be in a more organized video. Today I'm here to say that we are seeing right now the result of what all of us thought was going to happen. I'm sure most of you had it on your bingo card for this year. Gypsy has turned on Ryan Anderson and turned on him in the worst way. Like, her whole media empire is going to turn towards ensuring that everybody thinks he did something really shitty to her. Like, he was really messed up and there was no way she could stay with him. Drama, drama, drama. Toxic, toxic, toxic. I guess this is what sells the show, right? Let me see. I see something here. I'm trying to figure out, so annoying. I'm trying to figure out how to add some articles to the screen, and I haven't been able to do it in a live yet. But I'm going to take this live when I'm all done, and I'm going to add a bunch of pictures and articles to it so you guys can take a look. So come on back later, and you'll see it up under my videos, and there'll be some additional things added to it, okay? So here she is. Someone has gone to TMZ. I'm not saying Gypsy went. I'm sure Gypsy's going to come out and say, I never said that. I don't think that Gypsy specifically went, but I think she has people in her orbit around her who are going and selling these stories to places like TMZ, and they must have some connection to Gypsy because they have to show that to these editors in order to be able to get their story told in the magazine. So I believe, that this was Gypsy's way, one of her many ways of really dragging Ryan down. And it's not necessary. Like, that's the bottom line for me, is it really isn't necessary. She's unhappy. She got a divorce. All she has to do is come out and say, even just like publicly, she could say, look, guys, I know a lot of you've put out there, you've warned me, you've told me like I was going too fast, I shouldn't get married while I'm in prison. And I just want to say, like, all of you were right? And I'm really sorry. I made a bad choice. It's not that Ryan is a bad person. It's not that he's done something so terrible. It's just that we are not right for each other, and I simply made the wrong choice getting married while I was still in prison. And, like, maybe even be able to say, just say it. I am still interested in Ken. I've got all these pictures of Ken Urker He is up on TikTok and Instagram, putting all these pictures up of he and Gypsy hanging out in New Orleans. I know we have a lot of them from, the tabloids, but he's putting his own pictures up. So I'll share some of those as well. They are out and about on the town. She just had her nose job done. I mean, to me, it's obvious what's happened. She wanted some safety when she got out of prison. She wanted someone to take care of her, to set everything up for her. I put out a video saying, like, from what I've heard, from the information that I've been given, Ryan Anderson is no loser. Like, he is a special education teacher. He has a degree. He has a job. He has a home. His family is stable. Okay, so he has a lot of things going for him. And I think Gypsy saw those things and was like, I need those things. I need those things at least for a period of time. And that's what happened. She got out of jail and he supported her. And I have been told that his family has connections to the publishing company that published her book, which gave her a great deal of money. I know that there's a lot of articles out there saying Gypsy has $3 million in the bank now. As I've gone down the rabbit hole, I've discovered it's really not likely that much money. She has not necessarily become a millionaire yet off of all of this. There's potential for her to keep growing and growing, but the book deal was important. She needed money. There's other people in the family that have made money off of some of this, but it's not the millions of dollars we're being told that it was. Okay, so there's something's off with that. We're being told that they made all this money, and from what I'm seeing, that's not really true. They're still in a state, they have money, they have more money than I do, for sure, but they're kind of still in the state of needing to make money off of reality TV. They've got to get this drama out there because they need the money. Sharon says, and he has a fire D. Yeah, he's got a job. He's got a stable family, and he has a fire D. 100%, Sharon. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, maybe me. It's not, but she does have a good bit of money. Yeah, she has a good bit of money. Like, she's able to go out and do things like get a nose job. She's able to fix her teeth. Yes, she has money. I'm not saying she doesn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I think originally I kept hearing this figure of like $3 million, and I was like, that's insane. That's amazing. But I've come to understand that's not true. She, when she got out of prison, was worried and scared, and she needed someone, or she wanted someone like Ryan to be there for her and take care of her. And the bottom line is, I've said this before in a video, and I mean it. I don't believe that Gypsy's father or stepmother were stable enough for her to trust them to really be there for her and take care of her when she got out. Like, she needed someone like Ryan to help her. He even says, help her get her driver's license, help her go around and make sure she's set up with health care, make sure she has a bank account. These were things that she was like, I'm not going to be able to do that by myself. She's smart, and I actually think Gypsy is very smart and manipulative, and not always in a bad way. Like, she takes care of herself in that she gets this guy, wrapped up in her web so that he will take care of her when she gets out of prison. I mean, that was smart, I do have to say. So Ryan helped her out a lot, and now she has to use, her family, her friends, her managers that are around her to really put him on blast so that people don't continue to see her as like the evil villain here. She does want some level, and this is what happens in any kind of reality TV situation. She certainly wants some level of having people feel empathy for her. And I know I do. I feel empathy for her for what she went through. I feel empathy for the part of her life that she lost. I feel empathy that she's having to come out into this new world and start all over. But I also see she's got money. She's got a lot of opportunities and resources available to her that most people coming out of prison would never have. I mean, I remember the Turpin kids who were horribly abused. And even now, I follow Jen Turpin on Instagram. She wrote a book. It's not selling very well. She has many times over said that she's been homeless. Those kids have been through hell. Like, Gypsy's situation does not happen for everyone. Okay, Word of Wisdom says Gypsy Rose is a master manipulator. Yes. And I have to say that it's not surprising or shocking given how she grew up. I know a lot of people are saying, I have been through all of Fancy's stuff. I understand that Fancy Maselli is one of the people who really put out there, like, Gypsy was not abused, Gypsy did not have a hard life. I don't believe that. I've gone down my own rabbit hole. That child was treated totally inappropriately by her mother. Her father was absent. There was no one there to protect her. She was raised to be this way. I do believe that she's gone through some therapy. I don't believe she's exactly like her mom. She could be worse. She could be a lot better. She's not her mom. She's going to have to make her own way in the world. But yes, she's highly manipulative. We all see that. We get it. And that's something that comes up in the TMZ article as well, because Gypsy, well, according to the source, Gypsy is like, well, I really tried. Like, I tried to be there for Ryan, but when I realized that he was food hoarding, it reminded me so much of my mother, Dee Dee, and, like, I couldn't be around that again. It's kind of this manipulative way of appealing to us, like, not only was he doing something that isn't good and I don't like, but it's like a enacting of the abuse I went through when I was a child. So once again, all of us will have more sympathy for this, right? Okay. Myra Ray says she was abused to a certain point in her life and eventually picked the bad behaviors from her mother and knew what was going on. It feels as if she was groomed. That's a great way of putting it. Groomed. She was definitely groomed to be who she was by the time she was 19 and committed these murders. She was groomed to do it, in my opinion. And I would never want the childhood that she had. The isolation that she went through, I mean, I really disagree with Fancy Maselli in so many ways. She's kind of been like, I think her mother did love her. She completely isolated her from the outside world. No, this childhood was certainly abusive. Exposing the Good Wives Network. Oh, I'm glad you're here. I haven't seen this. Is this a new channel, Exposing the Good Wives Network? Everybody, go check out this channel, Exposing the Good Wives Network. Now, I watch Fancy Maselli for her information, but I just disagree with a lot of it. I really do. And I've seen Fancy at her worst, and I've also seen her maybe more at her best now, and I'm going to be honest about what I feel. I think she had some good information. I think she took it and exploded it and made it into something else that most served her purposes once Christy Blanchard kicked her out of the Mean Girls group that she has, floating all over social media. Sanga Cole, was she 23 years old when she committed the murder? That's a good question. I don't know her exact age, 20, 21, something like that. Hi, Karen Pearson. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, she was not that age, emotionally and intellectually. And it's not because she's not smart. I think that she's very smart. She was just so isolated. It reminds me a lot of the Turpin children, who are also highly intelligent kids. But you can go and look at their Instagrams. You can see their social media now, and they're just not at the level that you would expect a typical 20-something-year-old to be at. And that is part of what happens when you go through this kind of abuse. I cannot deny that abuse happens. I think horrific abuse happens. It may not be what we're used to. Maybe she wasn't getting punched and kicked. I know that she's alleged some of that. Maybe that wasn't happening, but to put your very young child at age 4 or 5 into a wheelchair and tell her she has to stay in it, that is a mind F. You are mind effing that child. And there's just no denying that. So, okay, so she's she's using this group of people that she's had behind her all this time to really go out and character assassinate Ryan. That's my opinion. Now, Ryan's over on Instagram. Okay, this is funny to me. Ken Urker's over on Instagram posting these pictures of him with Gypsy, like hanging out like Gypsy, me and Gypsy, like heads together, like, And then Ryan goes onto his Instagram and he posts this picture of Pixie the dog, and he's like, I love you, Pixie. She's like in his bed, like eating a toy or something. Poor Ryan. I will say, Ryan jumped into something that he should have been aware. It was the kind of choice he was going to have to deal with the consequences for, right? Ryan's not completely innocent. He chose this. He chose this life. He must have known. He was also the one who was pushing her to marry while they were still in prison. So Ryan is not completely innocent. I feel bad for him because I do think he's probably prone to being depressed about this from everything that we've seen in his latest posts on Instagram. But even like when he does videos for Instagram, he's done a couple lately, he'll be like, I'm just really depressed and sad, but just follow and like, because I'll be putting out more videos later. So it's just another grab to become social media famous, to make money. I mean, he's no dummy either. He knows like if Gypsy is leaving and she's taking her money train with her, he better grab as many subscribers as he can right now. I hope he writes a book about his life with her. Heathen, it's so nice to see you doing lives again. Oh, this is Jill Spear. Hi, Jill! You changed your thing. Okay, cool. Good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, it's hard for me to do lives because it's hard for me to be myself. Like, I used to be on YouTube because of everything that's happened. But that's okay. Today I'm myself. I have to go soon because my kids are coming home. I've got to pick them up from the bus stop. Today, I went down to this big plant stand on the side of the road, and I finally got some hydrangeas. I love hydrangeas, okay? And this is a little bit about my personal life. With everything that's been going on for the last couple of months, I took some time to really think about what's important to me and what is something that I want to put some time and effort into. And what I decided, this may seem really weird to all of you guys, yes, I'm a weirdo, is that what would make me really happy is to reconnect back to my past with my grandparents. My grandparents raised me. They mean the world to me. They've been gone for quite a while now. And I just feel like they died and I had to move on so quickly and go to college and become my own person. And I left so many memories, so many things, so many really important parts of my childhood behind with them. Once their house was sold, so many things were gone. Anyway, the point being, I'm going to reconnect with them. And one of the number one ways that I can foresee myself reconnecting to that part of my life is to work on a really intense garden in our home, because my grandparents had the most amazing garden in the middle of right outside of Washington D.C. They won all these awards for azaleas. They were from Puerto Rico. They were very impoverished. They didn't have a lot of money, but what they did for their whole entire lives was they would drive around. They would take trips around the country, just bring sandwiches and sleep in the van. They take all the kids. And they would find flowers on the side of the road. They would find azalea bushes on the side of the road, and they would dig them up and bring them back to their home in Washington, D.C. and plant them. So their home was just full of plants from all around the United States, and it was amazing, and it was beautiful. Azaleas were one of my favorites, but hydrangeas are number one for me. And I also really like hostas with hydrangeas. I have a really watery area of my house where I plan to plant them. I would love any feedback you guys have if you're good with gardens, because this will be my first time really trying. And the last flower that I always remember in my grandfather's garden, I always call them lulabells. They're little white flowers. I can't think of the actual name for them. It might be lily of the valley. It might be. Little white flowers, and they would come out in the spring to summertime all over the ground. And it meant the world to me, so that's something I'm working on recreating in my own home. I'm excited for that. I can only do so much. I'm a little sad that I probably won't see it the way I want it to be for a couple of years, but I'm excited about it. All right, I'm so glad that you guys are here. I'm glad to hear from all of you. I will be putting out a couple more videos later today. Para Woman Radio, good to see you. Para Woman Radio is another great channel you should go check out. Monique, I wish I had a green thumb. Every plant I have, it never lives for long. I feel the same way, but I'm really going to try. Sharon said, my mother is Puerto Rican. She could grow anything. Me, I kill a fake plant. I feel the same way, too. Lily of the Valley, yes, it is Lily of the Valley. Thank you, Sarah. I love the smell, too. That's my favorite smell, so I'm really excited. Okay, I have a lot more to say, but I've got to end it here so I can go get my kids. I'll put out some additional videos today. I'm really pushing with my new Grant Amato series, and that docu-series is coming out today. So I expect things to maybe start blowing up a little bit around that docu-series. I'm very interested in seeing what he has to say. We're going to have a lot of interviews with Grant. And if you guys haven't seen it, go back and watch my latest video with Grant's prison girlfriend. You guys, it's insane. His prison girlfriend, it'll blow your mind. Much love to all of you, and I hope to see you all soon again.